Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another interesting video here. This time working on a 1996 Mazda Miata 1.8. Customer concern is no signal in one of the camshaft signals that goes to the ECM from the camshaft. This camshaft on this vehicle produces two signals. I think it's a 2X and a 4X. I will go over the information that I found because as usual, you know that I do an extensive homework to make sure that I am testing the computer the correct way and that indeed it can be repaired and everything, right? So this is being sent to me by fellow technician. His name is Chip. Thank you so much for sending me this, and also by Campbell Automotive in Florida. This is one of their customers' computer. I will just keep it like that because I have not get the approval from dispersal of their information. But again, yeah, this is the concern is. Let me just read in here. No, this is not. All right, this is the information that I have. Make sure, yes. So, crank no start has had new coil pack, crank sensor, and cam sensor installed. Some more than once will start sometimes, but not sure if it's due to parts that have been replaced and are defective or just locked. Code is P1345, which refers to cam sensor signal missing. Pull the diagram. This is all him describing the test, and he did an excellent work because it was right in the money. So, as you can see, he said the cam sensor on this vehicle has four wire. It's a as he's describing here, four pins, and we'll see this in the diagrams in a second. So, a ground, a power. C is 5 volts, which is actually SGT, and then D is 0 because it's the problem that he has. There was not producing any signals. And as you can see here, next step will be to determine why I have no bias voltage on pin D on the CMP for the SGC CAM sensor signal. He was 100% everything right on the money. I had the computer already repaired and I had the scanner connected to the computer itself. So let me start the screen recording. All right, guys, so as you can see now, I have three channels as the description shows in here. The blue channel is connected to pin 4F in the computer, which is the SGT. The red, sorry, that's the blue channel. The red channel goes to pin 4G, which is the SGC, the one that had a problem before. And then the yellow channel is in the 5-volt reference, which in this computer I also have pull out, mainly the signals that I want to just check for his concern, for the customer concern and everything. And then I have grounds, which I'm only using for A. These are for coils and other things. Ignition and B plus. The 1D goes to the LC7, and then SGC, SGT, 5-volt reference. I check sensor ground is good, and I only have the ECT connected. And I show you then that in a second that I can actually change so we can see that we have communication going up and not down in temperature. So you can see we got communication and everything is good. So yes, the scanner, even though it's a 1996, it can communicate. And this is through OBD2. Again, this is an old computer. But as you can see, I have the VIN number, and this is the same VIN number he gave me. So yes, the computer is working properly. I also wanted to show you that um, we have 5-volt reference on all the signals, so which is great because again, yellow is the 5-volt reference for sensors. The blue is SG. Yeah, the notes in here SGT, and then the red is SGC. And as you can see now that I put all these cursors in here, there is everything in 5-volt reference. So we didn't have that before, and indeed, I mean, the computer was damaged, no doubt about. Chip was, as I said before, in the money with the problems that this computer has. As far as the connector on the computer, so this is the way that looks. I kind of have it backwards just because I don't want to have that board exposed. And I mean, even though I have this electrostatic and heat pad, that is not a problem. I would like to keep the computer away from any shorting possibilities. All right, but so this computer, even though it shows only three plugs, it's actually a four one in here, but it's not populated on this computer. So that one in there is empty. So that's one, two, and so actually is, yeah, one. This will be two, the empty one, then three and four. And that's how is on that connector that I have. So as you can see, it's not pins like if you go on the front of the computer, it just shows 1 to 13 and then 14 to 26 and so on, right? But you don't have the same, like 4A, 4B, 4G, 4D, and so on as described in here. So it's a little hard to see or understand unless you're in the car. There is another good hint that I found as soon as I opened the computer. Thank you, Mazda, for doing that. But as soon as you remove the computer here, if you flip the board, actually, I can show a picture of that. Um, yep. So if we see here, all those letters are in the pins inside the board. So this is perfect because you don't have to guess where are you connecting. Like that, you can follow the information. As you can see, the computer is in very nice and clean state, even though it's a 1996. I would recommend to any customers that has these vehicles that please send the computer right away before it's too late because it's very hard to find, especially this one. I'm not trying to show too much this information. Let me see if the other sticker, no, it's not in here. Because this computer, the last digit, sorry for that turning back and forth, I don't want to show that picture. But believe me, this computer, I will put probably the number of the computer on here, cutting out the information from the shop and everything. But that number is very hard to find. You have 72, 7169, but I think this one is a 73, which is pretty much not possible to find. So if you have any of this Mazda Miata and you want to keep it and it's in good shape and you want to send a computer, please do send it right away and then I can help you with that. All right, so going back to the test, I also want to share. Um, this is all original information from coming from Mazda, and I found it on Identifix. Please don't use ProDemand. I was drawn into buying a ProDemand or Shopkeep Pro, whatever you use for a Snap-on. Realistically, I'm sorry, Snap-on, but you're bad. You're bad. I mean, the Snap-on SUS, I'm very happy with the tool. It has its limitations, but we all know that scanners wise, limitations are not a problem. I mean, yes, there is no perfect scanner unless you're using the factory level scanner for that specific brand. Um, if we use a scanner like a Snap-on or Rotel or so, it cannot be thrown in everything because I mean it's pretty much impossible, right? But when a company like a Snap-on comes and offers information that you are paying for yearly and they lock you into a contract, and then you find out that they're just giving you bad information, it's no good. First of all, I want to show that here is it's okay. Looking at the diagram that we have in the screen right now. Let's say if I go over to the next page, and actually I gotta click in here, and I go over to the camshaft position sensor right here. That shows us the camshaft having four wires. A little glitchy on the selection of the wires, but it's okay. If I click this, the reason that I got at the end is Snap-on or ProDemand or Shopkey, whatever you're using, is the same company, same information. Mitchell or Snap-on, I don't know what they have, two divisions, same company, or same information and same problems. I have run into using Mini Cooper's information. Don't even try to use ProDemand because their diagrams are completely incorrect. You will burn your computer if you're trying to do a bench test if you try to use a Snap-on. I have told them multiple times and they have not correct anything. So it looks like they don't care. I mean, they just got the name and they keep selling and selling because it's a Snap-on. Stay away from it. I don't recommend anyone to get into anything like Protoman. Just go into Identifix or all that out there. The best lack of information with all Protoman. They just give you the pre-drawn wire, color wire diagrams. You don't have any OEM information, so you don't have nothing to compare to if you find a mistake. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about, the mistakes. I was going to show you the components in there, but it's not really important. What I wanted to use is, let's say, I want to find, the ECM pinout. So usually in Snap, when you come here and it tells you, okay, you got pin 1, you know, this is a pin from 1 to 22, which is true. You have 22 pins in there. Okay, excellent. And then the next one goes from 1 to 16, and that is the next connector. So okay, that's working good. I thought, right? And then the last one is a 24 pin, oh sorry, 26 pin. I'm like, okay, that matches exactly the computer that I'm using, right? So I'm going into assess the pin 5, sorry, pin 6 and pin 7 is SGT and SGC. No. If you go over to the connectors, and I have the picture, so let me try to open that picture. Yes, right here. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yes, perfect, because you can see the numbers in here. So we got, it's a little hard to say on this one, but so if we have 9 and 16, you see 7 and 12. So this is pin 1 and this is pin 13. So you will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, going back, I'm going to minimize this one, kind of like to put them on the side. So again, no, that's not what I want, and I already put it in there. I'm gonna have to cut it. All right, so what I was going to say, so 1 to 13, so they're saying that 6 and 7 are SGT and SGC, right? Wrong. Wrong information. You will burn your computer. Don't do this. This is completely junk. And I'm going to show you why am I saying this. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, as they're saying in there. Looking at the correct information, OEM information. So if I go over to the pictures that I showed you before, where the connector is, if I can look into that right here. Okay, perfect. We're looking for signals, SGT and S. I keep doing this. All right, guys. So now in here, if you see 4F and 4G, those are the signals. 4F and 4G. How I know that? Okay, going back to diagrams, let's look in here. So this is all OEM information. This is not pre-drawn. This is what a Snap should offer too. Okay, you need to make sure that your information, if it's drawn by somebody else, is done correctly. Because otherwise, like in my case, if I would have used this, I would have condemned the computer trusting a snap on and it's complete, or yeah, a Mitchell or whatever you want to call, and it's completely wrong. So you always got to do your homework extra because of redrawn information. I mean, it's sad that you are paying big money a year for a company that you cannot quit. And I'm going to try to see if I can move away from them because this is enough. I mean, they're making me waste time. They're selling information that is incorrect. So I think that's enough for breach of contract, and I'm going to try to pull off because it's ridiculous. And you can see, okay, say 4F and 4G are the signals. There's not, like if I go in here, they were telling me to go into 6 and 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, they're not even being used. That's what I thought. I mean, it's like 6 and 7. They're not even being used. I mean, it's maybe it's a signal that it's not really producing. And the technician was wrong. It wasn't nothing wrong on what chip did. It's the information that's not from what's given me. All right, so again, this is a little sad and important that you can check your information. Again, thank you. Again, Identifix, a great source of information. You can trust on what they have because they have the OEM information and a read-run information. Because I find, even in BMW, Mini Cooper, sometimes information run on as far as where the pins are located. Let's say, the diagram says one thing and the now says another one, but it's, I mean, you can find mistakes anywhere, right? But a constant and constant mistakes are, oh, well, I cannot even use this information. I cannot trust the snap on at all right, so, but the nice thing about this is I was able to find the pinouts, and then again, I can go back in here, and then 4F and 4G are saying that SGT and SGC, the signals that I need to have. I can also see, if I see, 3i, 5-volt reference, and it tells me how much I should measure. So ignition switch on, 0 to 5. If the camshaft position sensor is on the open gate, it will be 0. But in this case, it's 5 volts and 5 volts because I have no camshaft position connected, right? So it's not being pulled by the camshaft sensor. So it should be always 5 because it's not being pulled. But so if I go over to 3i, and this is what I got the information, 3i constant voltage reference value approximately voltage 5 volts. So that's how I found the grounds, the communication, and the coolant temperature sensor. I do also have, like the other diagrams that I have in here, again, OEM, to see how is this system communicating. And this is the data link connector, the one we're very used to have under the dash, the 16 pin. And Toyota uses this one for their own connector on the engine side. It does have more than what you can have in here, because on this auto connector you can get a self test, and this is not Toyota, Mazda, sorry. You can get a fuel pump signal, you can get auto text tag signal, and so on that you cannot get in here. But for communication, it's perfect. It's in P7, and then that's it, right? I can also see here the crankshaft position sensors. Again, this is again OEM diagram, and this is where you can see also at the bottom the connectors of the computer. Hopefully you can see that I'm moving. I'm going to put this kind of like cross or so on the left side so you guys can see what I'm moving, because sometimes just make sure that you're looking into that. Sometimes it's a little hard. That's what I'm trying to put the phone and the camera at the same time, and sort of the screen capture. I also have the next one is where we have the signals that goes from 4F and 4G, because I triple check my information. I love the way that Mazda did this, because it tells you how the connectors should look, where the wirings are located. So I mean, this is a really, really good information, even though it's in black and white. So I don't understand how they got such a good information and they cannot really pass it on to a color wire diagram in the correct way. I mean, somebody wants to put 13 or 14 or 6 and 7. I mean, you should check and make sure it's correct. This is not a free information. You're paying for it. So again, and this is the last section. It's only 3 wire diagrams for this computer, but yeah, I check all powers. I will check grounds. I check data link connector. I check everything, and it's working good. So I hope that this is not a super long video, but I wanted to share that now, indeed, the computer have that 5-volt reference, so I can turn this computer off, and this is constant power. So you can see now that all the signals went to 0. So if I measure this one, they're in 0, the yellow one is in 0, and the red one should be in 0 as well, right? So should have just another cursor and start to going down. But yeah, as soon as I put the ignition back on, everything jumps and stayed on 5-volt reference. So again, Chip, thank you so much. Campbell Automotive in Florida, thank you so much for sending me your computers. You can see that I lost communication with the computer. Obviously, I turn it off, and the computer is communicating good. So this is a good to go. Thank you so much for the business. Thank you so much, you guys, for stopping by and trying to learn some of what I do, how I do it, and then you can analyze and put this onto your work as a technician on the shop. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.